They ruled empires worth billions. They commanded armies. They bribed presidents and buried enemies. But every satisfying ending has a bullet, a betrayal, or a body on the floor. From rooftop gunfights to clown assassins. This is how every cartel boss met their end. The king of cocaine. Pablo Escobar had declared war on his own country. He bombed police stations. He assassinated judges. In 1989, he planted a bomb on Avianca Flight 203, killing 110 innocent people just to eliminate one politician. The Colombian government wanted him dead. So did the Cali cartel. So did the Americans. For 16 months after escaping his luxury prison La Catedral, a special unit called Search Block hunted him across Colombia. They raided safe houses. They tracked associates. They listened to every phone call. On December 2nd, Escobar made a mistake. He called his son. American technology traced the signal in seconds. Forces surrounded a house in a quiet neighborhood. Escobar tried to escape across the rooftops. Gunfire erupted. Bullets hit his torso, his legs, then just above his ear. Some say police fired the final shot. Others believe he pulled the trigger himself. 25,000 people attended his funeral. The El Mexicano Gonzalo Rodriguez Gacha had made too many enemies. He funded death squads. He massacred rivals. He murdered judges and journalists who stood in his way. By 1989, everyone wanted him dead. The Colombian government, the DEA, the Cali cartel, even the guerrillas. His enemies started working together. Worse, someone inside his circle was feeding them information. Police traced him to Cartagena. He escaped by boat with his son Freddy and a few bodyguards. One of them was the informant. 2 military helicopters found them near Tolu. Gacha and his men disguised themselves as farm workers. It didn't fool anyone. They fled in a red truck. A gunfight erupted across the countryside. Freddy was killed first. Gacha ran into a banana plantation. Cornered, he fired at the helicopters. His muzzle flash gave him away. One bullet hit his leg. The next hit his face. The man who trusted no one was betrayed by someone standing right beside him. 𝐿 Señor de los Cielos. They called him the Lord of the Skies. Amado Carrillo Fuentes ran the Juarez cartel and moved cocaine by the ton using a fleet of Boeing 727s. His empire was worth an estimated $25 billion. But by 1997, the pressure was closing in. American and Mexican authorities were tracking him. Ordinary citizens were protesting the politicians he had corrupted. Carrillo believed he could disappear. All he needed was a new face. On July 4th, he checked into Santa Monica Hospital under a false name. Surgeons performed 8 hours of plastic surgery and liposuction to transform his appearance. Something went wrong. A bad reaction to medication. A malfunctioning respirator. No one knows for certain. By early morning on July 5th, the most powerful drug lord in Mexico was dead on an operating table. Not a single bullet was fired. Months later, both surgeons were found murdered. El Chepe, Jose Santa Cruz Londoño, helped build the Cali cartel into the quietest empire in the drug world. While Pablo Escobar waged war with bombs and bullets, Cali used bribery. They bought politicians, judges, and police. At its peak, the cartel supplied 80% of the world's cocaine. But after Escobar's death, all eyes turned to Cali. El Chepe was arrested in 1995. It didn't hold him long. On January 11th, 1996, he escaped from La Picota prison in Bogota and vanished. His freedom made powerful people nervous. The Norte del Valle cartel wanted him dead. So did paramilitary commander Carlos Castaño and a corrupt police colonel named Danilo Gonzalez. Together, they set a trap. Weeks later, 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞's car approached what looked like a routine police checkpoint. It wasn't. The moment he stopped, gunmen opened fire. 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞 died on the spot. The quiet empire had been silenced for good. 𝐶𝐿. Helmer Herrera was the invisible boss. As one of 4 leaders of the Cali cartel, he operated in shadows, rarely photographed, almost never named in public. But behind the silence, he controlled smuggling routes worth billions. In 1996, after the other Cali bosses were arrested, 𝐶𝐿 surrendered. He thought prison would keep him safe. It didn't. The Norte del Valle cartel believed he had betrayed their leader, Orlando Henao, to the DEA. They wanted revenge. On November 6, 1998, 𝐶𝐿 was playing in a prison football match. A man named Rafael Ángel Uribe Serna walked onto the field. 𝐶𝐿 recognized him immediately. Uribe had been his trusted advisor for years. 𝐶𝐿 stopped the game and went to greet him. They embraced. Then Uribe pulled a gun and fired 7 shots into 𝐶𝐿's head. He died in the hospital hours later. The man he trusted most had been sent to kill him. The enforcer, Ramon Arellano Felix, was the most violent of the Tijuana cartel brothers. While his siblings handled business, he handled blood. In 1998, he ordered the massacre of 19 members of the Castro Ramirez family, men, women, and children. His brutality made him famous. The FBI placed him on their 10 most wanted list. The U.S. government froze his assets under the Kingpin Act. Mexico offered millions for his capture. None of it slowed him down. On February 10, 2002, Ramon was driving through Mazatlan when a police officer named Angel Antonio Arias Torres pulled him over for a traffic violation. What happened next took seconds. Ramon drew his gun and shot the officer twice in the chest. But as Arias Torres collapsed, he fired back. 1 bullet struck Ramon in the head. Both men died on the street. Some believe it was just bad luck. Others say El Chapo arranged the whole thing. El Jefe de Jefes, Arturo Beltran Leyva, was once El Chapo's most trusted ally. He ran security and controlled drug routes for the Sinaloa cartel. But when his brother Alfredo was arrested in 2008, Arturo blamed El Chapo for the betrayal. He broke away. He allied with Los Zetas. He declared war on his former partners and unleashed assassins across Mexico. The government made him their top target. On December 11, 2009, Navy Special Forces raided his Christmas party in Cuernavaca. 3 of his men died. Arturo escaped. 5 days later, they found him again. 200 Marines surrounded his luxury apartment with tanks and helicopters. The gunfight lasted 90 minutes. Grenades exploded in the hallways. Marines rappelled from helicopters and stormed the building. When the smoke cleared, Arturo and 3 bodyguards were dead. But the violence wasn't over. Days later, gunmen murdered the family of a Marine killed in the raid. A banner left at a kindergarten promised more revenge. Tony Tormenta, Antonio Cardenas Guillen, took control of the Gulf Cartel after his brother Ociel was arrested. He built a private army called Los Escorpiones, ex-police officers trained in heavy weapons and brutal tactics. But Los Zetas, once the cartel's armed wing, had turned against him. Former allies became his deadliest enemies. The government made his capture a top priority. Marines tracked him for months across Tamaulipas. Each time, he escaped in armored convoys surrounded by gunmen. On November 5, 2010, they cornered him in Matamoros. 660 Marines surrounded the city. Roadblocks went up. Cell service was cut. Power went dark. Gulf cartel sicarios hijacked buses to block military convoys. Snipers fired from rooftops. Over 300 grenades exploded in the streets. By afternoon, Marines located Tony in a downtown building. Helicopters fired from above. They pushed in and eliminated him along with his bodyguards. Across the border region, Los Zetas celebrated. They hung banners mocking the Gulf Cartel and invited Tony's men to switch sides. Nacho. They called him the King of Crystal. Ignacio Coronel Villarreal dominated Mexico's methamphetamine trade. He rose through the Juarez cartel under Amado Carrillo Fuentes, then helped strengthen the Sinaloa cartel alongside El Chapo. His niece, Emma Coronel, later married Chapo himself. But Nacho made enemies. When Los Zetas-linked gunmen kidnapped and murdered his young son, Alejandro, Nacho responded with fury. He sent over 100 men to hunt them down. Days later, 14 people were dead. The government had been tracking him for years. On July 29, 2010, soldiers traced him to a luxury home in Zacapa. When they stormed the property, Nacho didn't surrender. He grabbed a rifle and fought back. He killed one soldier and wounded another before a bullet struck him in the head. Inside the house, soldiers found jewelry, luxury watches, grenades, rifles, 3 vehicles, and $7 million in cash his kingdom seized in a single raid. 𝐿 Heriberto Lascano was a soldier who became a monster. He defected from the Mexican army and helped create Los Zetas, originally the armed wing of the Gulf Cartel. When the Zetas broke away, they became the most violent criminal organization in the country. Lascano was their leader. The U.S. government offered $5 million for his capture. Mexico added another $2 million. He was the most wanted man since the drug war began in 2006. On October 7, 2012, a civilian tipped off Marines about armed men at a baseball game in Coahuila. When they arrived, Lascano and a bodyguard opened fire from a white van. The shootout was brief. Both men were killed. So was one Marine. Fingerprints confirmed it was Lascano, but the story didn't end there. His body was taken to a funeral home. Before officials could announce his death, a convoy of masked gunmen stormed the building and stole the corpse. In the Zetas code, no man is left behind. His body has never been recovered. The godmother 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭 was the queen of Miami's cocaine wars. In the 1970s and 1980s, her empire generated $80 million a month. She ordered hundreds of murders. She pioneered the motorcycle drive-by, a tactic that became a cartel signature. Not even her husbands were safe. She allegedly killed her first. She shot her second herself during an argument. She had her third, murdered after a custody battle over their son, a boy she named Michael Corleone, after The Godfather. In 1985, the DEA finally caught her. She served nearly 20 years before being released for health reasons and deported to Colombia. In her final years, she reportedly found religion and lived quietly as a born-again Christian. It didn't matter. On September 3, 2012, Griselda left a butcher shop in Medellin. A man on a motorcycle pulled up beside her and fired 2 shots into her head. She was 69 years old, killed by the same method she made famous. The eldest brother, Francisco Rafael Arellano Felix, was the oldest of the brothers who built the Tijuana cartel. He was arrested in 1993 and spent 15 years in prison. By the time he was released in 2008, he had stepped away from cartel life. But old enemies don't forget. On October 18, 2013, Francisco Rafael celebrated his 64th birthday at a resort in Los Cabos. 80 to 100 guests filled the party. Politicians, businessmen, athletes, VIPs. Just after 8 p.m., a man dressed as a clown walked in. He blended with the entertainment. No one questioned him. He moved through the crowd until he was 3 feet away from Francisco Rafael. Then he pulled a pistol. He shot him in the head, then the chest. He kept firing as the body hit the floor. Guests screamed and dove under tables. The clown walked out a back door and climbed into a black SUV. He was never caught. The motive remains unknown. Some say old debts. Some say 𝐿𝐶HAPO wanted revenge. The truth died with the birthday boy. Billions of dollars. Thousands of deaths. Empires built on blood and fear, and in the end, none of it saved them. Not the armies, not the mansions, not the power. Every satisfying ending has a bullet, a betrayal, or a body on the floor.